not losing it. So anyway, coming back to that main issue again. If your content sucks, invoking laws to promote you by squelching your competition does not identify nor fix the problem. The problem is you, the producer. You suck at this. Face it. You need to start asking questions like, what am I doing wrong? Instead of going to the government saying, oh, please protect us. I'd be embarrassed if I was these artists. But anyways, on the flip side of that coin, if your content rocks, you do not need CanCon's help. Take a look at CTV's Corner Gas. I mean, that is Canadiana defined. You know, I mean, I was on the road touring at the time when that show was on, so I'm traveling all over North America with my museum and my van, and of course, you know, I'm speaking anywhere from, you know, a few hundred to 1,000 people a week, in public talks, and so everywhere I went, there was always foreigners visiting, right? And it was amazing. Every single talk, there would be some foreigner or American who would come up to me and say, you know, oh, you're Canadian? Oh, I love Corner Gas. It was an international phenomenon, you know. CHCH TV, they've produced several productions that have literally been shown around the globe. The Hilarious House of Frightenstein, you remember that one?
I do.
Yeah. We're not giving away our age, are we?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. The Red Green Show, everybody knows the Red Green Show. First time I saw the Red Green Show, which is the epitome of Canadian, it just bleeds Canadiana. First time
this was my first encounter, my first love with duct tape.
Yep, absolutely. Well, first time I saw that show, probably about, I'm going to go say 1992. And back then, I was volunteering with Last Days Ministries in Lindale, Texas. So I would work here in Canada during the summer, make an income, go down there and volunteer for 5-6 months at the ministry. And so I'm over at Brian and Julie Swiegel's place, and they had the TV on PBS, and they had an ad for the Red Green Show, 2 shows back to back. And I saw the ad, and I'm like, hey, Brian, we should watch that. It looks pretty funny. And Brian was like, I don't know, man. I watched it once. It was pretty weird. It was pretty strange, you know. I'm like, oh, come on, let's watch it. So we watched the first one. I am absolutely on the floor rolling in hysterics. And Brian's just standing back looking at me weird and looking at the TV show weird. And he doesn't get it. We get to the end. I'm like, you know what? This is Canadian. Too many references to beer, hockey, and winter. This is Canadian.
Yep. Absolutely.
Sure enough, produced by CHCH TV. Just for Laughs Montreal, gags. Everybody's seen that. I had the privilege of meeting one of the producers of Just for Laughs gags. And it was a very interesting discussion because with gags, there's no spoken language. They're not saying anything. And so this transcends language barriers, cultural barriers, country barriers. And so now Just for Laughs gags is literally all over the world. A similar thing could be said for Mr. Bean, you know. Same idea. So it works in foreign countries that don't even speak English or French. It's perfect, you know. Second City TV, you know, as we showed in the countdown leader, the Bob and Doug McKenzie. You remember them, eh?
Oh, classic.
Yeah. So Bob and Doug McKenzie were actually characters created by SCTV to mock the CanCon system. Because Canadian content, because the CRTC was requiring broadcasters to carry Canadian content, so SCTV said, "Oh, you want Canadian content? Okay, we'll give you Canadian content." And of course, these guys were an absolute smashing hit. I mean, they even went on to make a. Did you have their album?
I didn't have the album. I had the 45 of the 12 Days of Christmas.
Okay. Yeah, so they came up with an album. They came up with a movie later on. It was a smash hit around the world. So, I mean, if Murdoch Mysteries, there's another example. This is, if your content rocks, you do not need CanCon. Plain and simple.